Hey, what's up guys, this is Johan, and on this video I'll be adding a couple of ATO stuff to my 75-gallon aquarium. Solenoid, and then this is the power, the main power. So if for any reason we lose power, it's going to automatically shut it off, which it does not. Hey guys, I just wanted to jump in to let you know before you guys start watching. This is going to be a long video, about 30-some minutes, 31 minutes or so. So grab some popcorn and just chill because I was editing it right now. But let's get into the video. Hey guys, so right now I am manually topping off my 75-gallon aquarium. Well, manually, automatically, but if I forget, I have a float switch that shuts it off. So what that means is from my RDI system downstairs in the basement, I have a line running through the ceiling or through the floor on the top floor of the basement in between. So it's running through the floor right here, and then I drill straight through the floor, and then I have the arrow line coming into the sump of the 75-gallon directly, and then it's connected to a manual float switch. So once the water level rises, it automatically shuts the water line off. So that has been working okay for the past 4 or 5 months since I had this set up, but that's not 100% safe, because if for any reason that float switch fails, for example, the flapper that shuts it off, if for any reason that gets clogged, then something is trapped in between there and doesn't shut off properly, or it doesn't make a complete seal for any reason, it could eventually end up flooding my floors, which I don't want to do. So what I'll be doing today is adding other top-off system, which is the ICecap ATO, and then I'll be also adding a flood guardian, aka the marriage saver. So I'll go into depth with these two. Alright guys, so let me go quickly into what an ATO is for anybody who's new into the hobby. An ATO is basically an automatic system that adds water auto top off to your system to automatically top off your aquarium. So for saltwater aquariums, it is necessary to have a top off or some type of top off system to keep your salinity at the right level. So we like to keep our salinity at 1.026, and as the day goes on, the water evaporates, and then you start to get a lot of salt loss. So not salt loss, you start to get a lot of water loss. So through evaporation, the water goes into the air or into the surrounding air. It makes the air more humid, but the salt stays. So what will start to happen is your 1.026 will go up to 1.027, 1.028, 1.029, 1.030, and then that just raises the salinity too high. So corals don't like that, your fish don't like that. So like I said, I've been manually topping off the systems every day. I would come home and turn the tap on for a little bit and just let it go. So that's what that does. It just keeps the level at 1.026 constantly, and it's just a much more better system than doing it myself. So I might forget to turn the system on or the tap on, and then the next thing you know, it goes up from 1.026 to 1.029 in like 3 days, because I have a few fans on here that kind of evaporates the water a little bit more. So I originally was going with the Neptune ATK, but I could never find the Neptune ATK V2, but I could never find that one in stock. Everywhere I go, it's out of stock. So I actually was gonna buy the original Neptune ATK V1, but there was a few bad reviews about the pump or whatever. And then the night I was gonna buy it, I was like, whatever, I'll just buy it, why not? And it went out of stock immediately, because I guess they discontinued it to put the new one in. Anyways, I'm going with the ATO. Let me dim this so it's a little bit dimmer. Not so bad. Yeah, there you go. So I went with the ICecap ATO, and it has pretty much all the features that I wanted from the Neptune ATK. Only difference is it does not have a manual float switch, and I don't think I could add it to my Neptune system. I may be able to add it to my Neptune system in the future, but based on what I can tell, I cannot. So the main two features that I wanted from a top-off system, which this one fulfills, is a minimum of 2 optical sensors, a low water level sensor and a high water level sensor. So if the water level gets past the first level for any reason, it has another backup. So at least 2 fail safes on this system. And another thing I wanted to do, since this does not have that one feature, is the manual float switch. I already have a float switch on here, so I'll run my arrow line directly into the float switch. So it comes from this system, then it goes to the sorry, ooh, what was that? So it goes into the manual float switch that will shut off in case any of these 2 optical sensors happen to fail. So I kind of have a ATK of my own, but not really. Just a little, a little DIY thing, but it should work just the way I want it to. Second part of my ATK system that I am going to put in is a Flood Guardian. These are really great. It's actually called, I've heard a lot of great reviews of these, and this is the other name for this, actually the Married Saver, because it stops you from flooding your floor. So every video I've seen about this and review I've seen about this is actually really pretty good. So I'm going to be putting this on, and the way I'm going to run it, it's so my RODI system right now, I could leave it on if I want to, and it's just gonna automatically top my system every day. And the manual flow switch, as long as it does not drop, I have another shut-off valve downstairs, so when the tap shuts off up here, it shuts off downstairs as well. So what I'm gonna do is plumb the RO line directly into my RODI reservoir, which is gonna be on this floor, and then I'm gonna plug this into it, tie this into it, so it will automatically shut off the water for me. And then I'll also add another manual float switch, which is on the way but it hasn't been shipped yet. So that way I have a double backup just in case this fails for any reason. I still have a manual float switch that shuts it off. That way I don't need to do anything with my RO system. And then I'll also put this on the timer as well. And this, based on what I read, when it loses power, the solenoid in here shuts itself off. So that way, once it loses power, it's gonna automatically shut off the water. So I won't be killing my RO system. So I'll try to explain a little bit more as I go along. Any advanced reefers who's done it before know exactly what I'm talking about, but I'll try to explain a little bit more and show you what I mean as I go along. So let's get into the video. I gotta move some stuff around. I gotta actually make something. So I'll make that off camera, and then I'll show you guys what I'm planning on doing. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and take a look at everything that comes in the boxes. So let's start with the ICecap ATO. This box is open up simple. It has a couple magnets here, so if you like keeping boxes, there's a magnetic tab. So you get your quick start guide under the foam. Then you have, oh, this is for because the company I bought it from, I guess. It comes from there. Then you have some little cable management. You have some tubing, your 2 optical sensors, and then breaking this up just a tad bit. Then the pump, the nano pump that comes with it to return the water. A power supply. ATO itself, and this one has a magnet at the back, so you could stick it on your whichever part of the aquarium you want to. This is the a anti-siphon connection, so it's like you put the hose into here, and then it prevents back siphon because it has a hole drilled in right in there. So it's a siphon break nozzle, I think this is called. And then the actual unit itself. Next, in the Flood Guardian box, you get, it comes with, let's see here. Okay, so this is the controller. I think I was messing with this earlier, so it is a little bit not put together. So you have the controller with extra long cable to the actual sensor. So I think this is about 6 feet of cable or a little bit more. Then you have the 2 connections, the main Flood Guardian controller or the actual unit itself. Then this is power supply. So it comes with a 12-volt power supply, and this should be the solenoid. Yep. So the actual solenoid, this is what's going to shut on and off and turn the water valve on if the power goes off or if the water reaches past the sensor. And then you get some more cable routing, and lastly you get your manual how to set up. Guys, so we're down here in the sump. I just want to show you guys how I currently have my setup. You see the hour line running over here, and then that comes to my float switch, which is right there, and you can see it's just a manual float switch. So you can see I need to top off the system. Like I was saying, sometimes I may forget. This time I did not forget, but I still do need to top off my system. Ideally, the wall line needs to be about right there, but I let it evaporate a few days, so it's down here. Now the reason I did that is because currently this is our system. I just put it here for testing. It's not our system, but my reservoir. This is the old 20-gallon Nano. I'm just going to use it as a reservoir. So what I have my skimmer and all that right here above it. So because it's above it, I have extra water, so I'm gonna let some of the water dump out into the sump where it should be, and then I'm gonna take this out, and then I'm gonna put a bit of safety down here. So I'm basically gonna put a drip tray just in case the top off for any reason the reservoir gets overfilled. It's gonna have a drip tray that's gonna be able to drip or drain into the basement downstairs, into the bathroom basement downstairs. So that way I don't flood the floors. I just try and put some extra fail safes in place, just in case for any reason something doesn't work. So that's my plan right now. Take this out, build a drip tray, and get our system together. Guys, so here is that thing I was telling you guys about that I'm building. It is basically a wooden box with a shower pan liner in there. I think it holds just under 25 gallons. I have to double check the measurements and all that, but it's just basically stapled to the side, not really glued or anything like that. But that will buy me an extra 10 to 20 gallons of extra water, just in case the reservoir overflows and the float switch fails and the flood guardian fails for any crazy reason. Have extra bit of water. And then what I'm gonna do later on is drill a hole, probably at the bottom or on the side somewhere, and basically have it drain straight down to like the sewer, so that way, well, I don't have a sewer, so probably the backyard in my case, to water the plants or whatever, just in case, so I don't flood the house. But for now, this is gonna hold the system, so let me go ahead and start putting that together. Alright guys, so we are in the back area of my sump, the back of my aquarium area. So water reservoir is inside of the little DIY holding drip tray. So in case anything happens, it overflows, it's gonna go into the drip tray, give me extra about 20 gallons. Now that this is in here, it's probably gonna give me about an extra 10 gallons instead of what it was before. Then like I said, later on I'm gonna drill either at the bottom or somewhere at the sides to have a drain that goes down and out to either the drain or to my garden or to somewhere else, just not here where I won't float the floor. So what I'm about to do right now is put the float valve on here. And alright guys, so I have the float switch connected and ready to go. So it's one of the float switches where it just ties on to the back of the aquarium. I don't have to do any drilling. It just goes over the rim and it screws down with a few acrylic screws, and that is all nice and tight. So it's not gonna go anywhere, even if it happens to move a couple of millimeters up. The lip of the aquarium will stop it, so it's not gonna go up or shift or anything like that. So what I was gonna do is connect the flood guardian straight to this and then directly into there. But what I'm going to do is connect this to the flood guardian, then that's the line that goes straight into there. But then I also have a Y right here. That's to allow me to, if I want to just get some extra water. And then I have this shut-off valve, so I could make our water right here. I don't have to go downstairs to a different place. So I just turn this on. So it's on right now. Turn it off, turn it on if I want some our water. It's gonna be offering up the same hour line, but it's not gonna disturb the my top off water or my flood guardian. That's all gonna be basically the same line, just on its own separate little system. Alright guys, so I have finished set up the flood guardian just about almost how I want it to. My stuff to just clean up some of the wires over here in the corner, but let me show you guys how I have it set up. Just in case you guys want to replicate it or do anything like it. So what I have here, it's the solenoid. You can see it back there, and you can see a line coming out and into the float switch. And then right next to it, right there, a little higher, it is the optical sensor. I need to actually change it. I had it the wrong way. I had it sideways instead of vertical. So optical sensor is right there. Then to the right on this side over here, I have a Y fit in, and that allows me to split the main hour line, hour water that's coming in. And so if I want to have hour water on demand, I have this long cable, this long hour tubing or airline tubing, and then on it I have a shut-off switch, so I could shut this off and have on or off, and have our water on demand up here. Alright guys, so here comes the water. I'm gonna let it fall out. So it's coming out, you can see coming out there. Some is coming out of this one, and then you can see some dripping out of there. So what I can do is just shut this off. Good shake. Put it right in there. Now I have water on demand. So once this fills up, one thing I like about this, so this is the flood guardian. If for any reason it loses power, so this is the solenoid. Yeah, this is solenoid, and then this is the power, the main power. So if for any reason we lose power, it's gonna automatically shut it off, which it did not. Okay, so after a brief little intermission and a little bit of me scratching my head, I'm wondering what the heck did I do, why it didn't work the first time. The solenoid, the reason it didn't work is because I had the flow going the other way, so it just kept putting out water. But now that I have it in the right way, alright guys, so now that we know that everything's working, let's go ahead and double check to make sure the optical sensor is working on this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and push it below the water line. It's dark. And you guys can hear it beep. It's right next to my mouth. So it's gonna beep 5 long beeps. Alright, and that lets it know it's good to go. So let's pull back all the water. And it's gonna remain like this. So it's gonna remain on the off position. So I'm gonna have a power cycle on it. Like I said, so that with the timer, so I'm just gonna only have it on for a couple hours, and that way it will automatically power cycle itself, and when it power cycles itself, it's gonna automatically start up. So let me do a power cycling right now by plugging it in. So let me go ahead and plug that in. It beeps 3 times, and then the water comes up on. So yep, I didn't plug it in all the way. Alright, so actually I absolutely love this feature. As long as it doesn't have any problems, I'm going to enjoy this RO setup, and it is so loud right now. Alright guys, so whilst we wait for the RO reservoir to fill up, let's go ahead and set up the top off system. So this is the magnetic holder that holds the sensors. So this is the high level sensor, and it's indicated by the white line, the white cable. So this is the emergency. So if this sensor fails, the low level sensor fails, then this one will shut off the system. So that just slides on there, and now these have a nut that screws around the bottom of the sensor. And all that does just goes on there, and then you screw this on. Right, so it screws on, and then just make sure it's snug enough so it doesn't come off. Alright, and then there is a center to the routing area, so you can take this and just route the cable right there. It looks nice and pretty. And then the last little bit is the other side, the after low level sensor, and has the black cable. And then we put this one right there. Screw this on. Right there. Yep. And now I put the grommets, the little rubber gaskets right there. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be on this side or that side, but I put it closer to the nut side. And then from there, have it kind of close so you guys can see it. The actual ATO itself, the whole mechanism, the controller. I have the black one in the TS, and then the white one I'm going to plug into the PS. And then the pump right here just goes in the center. So I'm just doing this really closely so you guys can see it. So it's everything is in here, and then after I'll set it up, put the wires where I want to put it. All right, so that's that. Alright guys, so that pretty much does everything for the Flood Guardian. Now the hour setup, I'll start doing that part now, but I already set it up and shot everything, but I had to scratch my head for a little bit and get this stuff together. So right now you can see the hour line coming up, the auto top off line. So that's there, it goes over there. I have the little bracket, and then it goes back in there, and then I have it right there, and I already tested it. So what I'm gonna do is, let me give you a quick test right now. I'm going to lift this up out of the water just a little bit. Yep, that's too high. Give it a little bit. So this comes on, this blinks when it's in working, and then I have the arrow line right here. So there it is. Let me put it right there. Alright, so you could see that the eye hits, and now the water hit the optical eye, so it just stopped. And the siphon, and put this back over here. So now, one thing I didn't show you over here, I do have a siphon break right there. That's the valve it comes with. It has a little hole that acts like a venturi, so when it pushes water up, it sucks in a little bit of air right here, and then that allows it, so when it pulls the water back over, it prevents any siphons from happening and dumping out your reservoir. So yeah guys, as far as the upstairs part goes, this will work. Now if you guys have any questions, let me know. So I got one more thing to show you guys, and that is downstairs. I have the shuttle valve that allows me to let this run on its own. Alright guys, so we're down here in my fish bathroom. This is where I come down here to clean my aquarium stuff, you know, and I'm planning to turn this into a fish room later. So we're planning to have some water gallons there and changing this sink to a bigger sink, but for now this is cool. But we came down here so I could show you our unit and what allows me to have it running 24/7 on its own, and with the shut-off valves upstairs. And it is this shut-off valve right here. So I have the main line this is like the wastewater line over here down at the bottom that goes here, and then you can see it goes there, and then this one goes out to my garden right now. I still gotta work on what I'm gonna do for the winter, and then right here, this goes upstairs. So when this line over here, which is this one, when the solenoid shuts off or the float switch shuts the entire system off, the pressure that's in here is going, there's a little a valve that's here, so when the pressure builds up, it goes over and then it closes this valve, so it stops water from exiting to the waste, and that allows me to run it on its own, and it will shut itself on and off all day long. So, well, not all day long. With the float valve, I'm probably gonna have to lower where I have the sensor, the solenoid sensor, so it doesn't shut on and off every single day, and I'll have the float valve as a backup. Alright guys, so that pretty much wraps it up for this video. It looks like it's been done in one day, but this has taken me 2 days, a little bit way too long, trying to get the DIY drip plate or drip box thingy. Took me a little bit longer than it should, but it was well worth it. I'm having extra fail-safes in place. So the Flood Guardian, with a solenoid and a float switch, and then plus my new ATO system that's hooked up. I'm still waiting for my other float switch to come in place, and once that comes in place, that should be set to go. So I shouldn't have to worry about the hour filter. Only thing I have to worry about is changing my DI resin once every couple of months, 2 to 3 months, the DI resin, and then I have to change all my outer membranes, which I'm trying to show you guys a fish tank, but yeah, so I have to change my membrane in the next 4 months or so, because I'm coming up to a year since I've changed it, and I need to change the other little carbon blocks and stuff like that every 6 months. So besides that, I think it was a pretty, good little project for me. I love doing little work projects. I kind of want to set up the big tank, but I got some crazy things coming up. So, I zoomed in. So I got some stuff coming up in the near future that is kind of restricting me from setting the big tank up right now. It's just like some work stuff that I will reveal as time goes on. But for now, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys like it, go ahead and hit the like button down below. And also remember, subscribe if you guys have not yet. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Oh, question. If you guys made it this far, what should I do in my next week's video? Should I do a update video next week, or should I do a quarantine video next week, or should I do an update video and then save the quarantine video, or how to do a quarantine for a week after next video? Let me know. Alright, I'll catch you guys in the next one.